In your life, have you ever come across knowing twins personally? If you have, you may have noticed that unlike other siblings, twins share a special bond. If the twins are identical, they may have almost the same personality and share the same hobbies. Brittany and Briana from the city of Virginia proved this statement to be true. They did something that recently broke the internet. Not only were people shocked to see this, but they also wondered how it happened. Psychologists say that identical twins usually have the same need and desires. Brittany and Briana were not different. They loved dressing up in identical clothes, and they both had the same hobbies growing up. They also got the same haircuts, and their wardrobe looked like it is replaced twice. It was not uncommon for people to notice them and ask them about their special bond. Many twins do not get along with each other, but Brittany and Briana could not stand the thought of being away from each other. The identical twins had decided at an early age that they would stay together even if they get married. Both were grown girls now and wanted to set foot into the dating pool. They tried dating men, but something was always off with them. None of them gave them the support to stay close with each other. The twins knew that dating would be hard, and they would have to compromise on certain things if they wanted to find the love of their lives. The twins were so in tune with each other that it surprised people around them. They both decided to study law, but did not end up at the same university. Despite this difference, they ended up scoring almost the same marks in every subject. Once they completed law school, both of them started working for the same law firm, and after a tiring day, they would sometimes share the same bed. Being alike was almost like a lifestyle choice for both of them. They soon stopped fixating on the idea of meeting the perfect person and decided to go out and party. They packed up their bags and went to Twinsburg to start their fun weekend. The day was going well, and both the sisters were having good fun when Brittany's eye fell on a gorgeous-looking man. However, she instantly lost him in the crowds, and she could not find him again. Brittany made sure to tell Briana about how she felt something warm in her heart after seeing this guy. At the same time, Briana also confessed to seeing another guy earlier. Briana said that he was so dreamy that she kept looking at him wherever he went around the concert. Since they both lost contact with their dream boys, they danced by themselves till the sun came down. When the entire convention was over, Briana and Brittany were headed inside to fetch something to eat, and they saw the most shocking thing they had ever witnessed. Briana had to pull Brittany's hand and show it to her. Briana pointed to the man in front of her and told her twin sister, "This the man I have seen everywhere I go." Brittany did not react to this at that instant as she was busy staring at the man. After a few seconds, Brittany saw someone else walking behind this man, and she gasped. "They are twins," Brittany shouted. "The man walking behind him is the one who made me feel like there are butterflies in my stomach," she confessed. They could not believe the coincidence. Both of them knew that they had to go over and introduce themselves to the guys. But they felt a hint of shyness before they approached them. They had never felt this way before and knew that they had stumbled onto something special. They spoke till nightfall, as each of them had to return back to their respective hometowns. The girls went back home feeling like they had a new life to look forward to. This feeling was indeed the beginning of something special. If you are wondering who the mysterious duo is, they are Josh and Jeremy, who are currently residing in Hagerstown, Maryland. They were in Twinsburg for the convention as well. And these guys fell head over heads in love with these women the first time they saw them. But both of them had the same thought running in their minds. They are out of our league, and we cannot get them to date us. What a coincidental thought for identical twins. But after they spent the entire evening with each other, it was almost like a dream come true for both the twins. But unfortunately, the day had to come to an end, as both of them had to return to their respective hometowns. They missed each other a lot and wondered if they will ever see each other again. Josh and Jeremy wondered if it was too soon to visit the girls in Virginia. Both of them made a spontaneous decision and hopped their way into the town where their lives would change forever. It felt like their lives were starting to fall into place. It was unusual, and they had not come across a miracle where identical twin sisters would start liking identical twin brothers. This unlikely situation made it all the more special for Brittany and Briana to think about their future. They made their feelings apparent to the boys, and they did not feel anything less. As days passed by, the twin sets spent more time knowing each other. But there was one small problem. Which twin would ultimately end up with who? They thought for a while and finally came up with the ultimate plan. The set decided to pair up by birth timing. The firstborn in the boys set would marry the firstborn in the girls set. Both the girls liked both the guys and vice versa. This arrangement was the most genius plan they could come up with. It was natural selection at its best. They dated for a while, and in this short time, they knew that they were made for each other. Brittany and Josh, Briana and Jeremy were now the perfect couples according to the world. Wherever they went, people's heads would turn to see this unique couple. Some of them would rub their eyes, thinking that they are dreaming in broad daylight. Slowly they started becoming local celebrities when people stopped them for taking pictures. This unusual pair caught the attention of the local news and blew up even more. The duo could not have been happier with their lives. After they peaked their fame with their great love story, an ad agency wanted to shoot an ad with this unique couple. The ad was set to focus on the twin girls, and they were happy to oblige. They were excited about their first shoot and dressed in identical clothes as always for this. But when they entered the hall, they noticed that there was something off with the vibe in the room. They started to get worried and looked at each other. Suddenly Brittany screams on top of her voice. Brittany saw Josh and Jeremy dressed in identical tuxes and got down on their knees with identical rings in their hands. They could not believe what was happening in front of their eyes. This proposal is more magical than they have ever imagined it to be. From a young age, they have wondered about the moment they were going to get proposed. But they never imagined that it would be together. Without missing a beat, both of them said yes. And now, it was time to plan the grand twin wedding. The wedding date got fixed to be in February. 6 months down the line would be the day that all four of them get married under the same roof. They planned to make this wedding special and unique. Even though there would be only one ceremony conducted, the wedding was set in a way that everything would be double. They had identical wedding cakes, identical wedding rings, identical wedding dresses, basically everything identical. If you thought that they could not go more overboard than this, then you might be wrong. The wedding invitees were unique too. Their friends and family were, of course, a part of this grand celebration. Apart from them, around 15 pairs of identical twins attended this grand wedding. It is not surprising that the wedding gowns and tuxedos of the brides and grooms were the same. But what is interesting is that this marriage was covered as a 1-hour special on TLC. Their engagement news got worldwide media coverage, and many agencies started approaching them. They finalized TLC for their wedding special. The dream wedding was over, and they had the most magical honeymoon of their lives. Once everything was back to normal, it was time to decide their future. Where do they stay now? All four of them pitched in and bought a huge house to stay in. That way, no one would have to be apart from each other. From their childhood, they are used to each other's presence to a large extent. And separating now did not make sense as all four of them wanted the same thing. Brittany and Briana wanted to have twin children born on the same day. It is not logically possible for this to happen unless they are pregnant on the same day and decide to have a C-section. Also, raising 4 children can be a lot. But nothing would make them happier. They took time and set their new house into a dreamland. They were now known as the Soliers twins around the world. People were happy to see such an unlikely pair, and at the same time, many people threw shade at them. This was not the end of the good news wagon for the duo. When Brittany and Briana give birth to their respective children, not only will they be cousins in relation, but genetically they will be full brothers or sisters. This condition is rare in the medical community, but whichever doctor gets to be a part of this case would be lucky. Both the pairs had no idea about this and were thrilled to know this fact. Brittany even joked that her kid would have a mom, an aunt mom, a dad, and an uncle dad. Like others, even you might have wondered if there were any mix-ups and confusion between them. But fortunately, they know how to tell apart from the other twin. If a stranger is meeting them for the first time, they might not be able to tell the difference. But they share a different connection and notice the tiny differences. So if you are wondering, no, they have never kissed the wrong person by mistake. The newlyweds even discovered that their original hometown was not far from each other, but moved from there later on in life. After all, how many more coincidences can you expect? Since their marriage in 2017, they have been living happily. Since both the sisters had studied law, they were practicing law together. And the guys had a business which they were running together. All they needed was a kid to fill their lives with more happiness. The sisters had planned to get pregnant at the same time so that the birth of the children can be on the same day. Although this cannot be planned that way, they still kept this in large as their agenda. A few years back, when they were dating singleton men, they never imagined that their lives would lead up to this point. The happiness they felt was like never before. We have another interesting news for you. The convention in which they met was a twin convention that Brittany and Briana attended every year in Ohio. They trekked from their hometown to be a part of this. They never failed to be a part of this grand celebration of twins. And this is where they wound up finding the love of their lives. Every event they celebrated turned out to have something unique about it. Especially the anniversary they celebrated was a double anniversary. To this day, Brittany can recall pulling the wrist of Briana when they first saw the love of their lives. This small move changed everything in their lives. Naturally, they started trying to get pregnant, and the universe kept giving them more and more good news. They both were pregnant and were expecting the baby to be born in the same month. Friends and family could not have been happier to learn that both the sisters were pregnant at the same time. But something devastating happened to them. Somehow both the girls had a miscarriage. They are connected on a spiritual level. After one faced a miscarriage, the other also started having the same complications, and the sad news broke out. They were not hopeful of getting pregnant anytime soon as they were still sad from the trauma they experienced. But life has to go on, and they looked at the brighter parts of their lives. Slowly, they helped each other move from this. The world soon was cursed with the coronavirus, and like all of us, the Soliers family was under lockdown. This pandemic gave them time and space to understand each other better. They spent days and nights together playing games, interviewing with local YouTube channels, and using their energy for better use. The girls even offered their help to unite other twins like them. All this positive energy came to good use after all, when they broke the internet for the second time. Brittany was pregnant. And Briana could not have been happier with this news. They went together to the hospital for the prenatal checkup. On that day, Briana was not feeling too good. She was tired and kept throwing up. The doctor insisted that she get herself checked since she is already in the hospital. And to her surprise, Briana turned out to be pregnant as well. While Brittany was due to give birth towards the end of November, there has been no update. At the same time, Briana was 9 weeks pregnant. We are still waiting for them to break the happy news. Like you, even we are wondering if the babies will look the same. It all depends on different kinds of gene combinations, but there is still a large chance that these cousins may end up looking like twins. Have you heard of a more unlikely story in your life? We hope that both babies are healthy when they are born. We are certain that they will end up being best friends like their parents.